We're back. Hello.
And we are live.
We got audio and
A
everything.
sound.
We're doing
A
good.
sound. Is there a sound?
How can I hear
Can
a
the
sound?
audience hear us? Hello, audience. Tell us whether or not you can hear the words that I am speaking.
What's up, bitches?
Indeed. We hear all. That's
Excellent.
ominous.
Good.
All right.
Good.
Well, in that case,
Then they
Hello.
listen to eat raisins.
internet friends and webcomic fans, it is your friendly neighborhood dungeon biologist, me. Welcome to another steaming, heaping helping of trash heroes. The Dungeons & Dragons stream, wherein we recount the epic adventures of this wildly improbable collection of horrible creatures known as the Trash Heroes. Our players, as always, are this wonderful group of incredibly talented internet cartoonists. Check out their work on the internet or in physical books or even in like freaking newspapers now. It's
All
crazy
20.
times. This brand new technology that no one
Look
has
up in
previously
newspapers
heard
and
of.
get really angry and tell me that I'm ruining Popeye by making him trans, which I'm not doing.
Exactly.
You should now, just out of spite.
Good.
I can't
Yeah.
fundamentally change Popeye.
Oh, I drew you some
That's
fan
fair.
art. I forgot to scan that in.
So I will
You're
of
trying to
course
be murdered.
of course remind everyone to take a look in the upper right corner or in the descriptions below and follow everybody on their various social media, Patreons, and so forth. You can even support this stream if you want to join our Patreon. Link is below in the About page. And you may notice that we have a special guest joining us shortly. Not quite here yet, but continuing from last time, of course, we have Jam.
Fridays are
Joining us.
weird.
So,
People work and
without-
stuff.
Without further ado, I shall introduce the characters. First up, Keeper of the Vermin, Protector of the Trash Heap, Fetid Quaggle.
It's me, hi.
And next is our larger-than-life pit-fighting superstar, that is Ugna Sugar Tusks.
Bone crushing time.
And next up, our trickster cleric, rogue baker, and all-around party animal, Tromlin Dariels.
I've got no catchphrase, so
Good.
pterodactyl string.
Nope,
Perfect.
That's it
Good.
now. That's canon.
My next
and-
character will be a Sauron, the Sauriels from Forgotten
Yep.
Realms.
Good.
Named Sauron. There you go. And, of course, our sweet old grandpa, who's also accidentally an ancient warlock, Copernicus Sunshine.
They can't kill you if you're already dead.
We'll see about
Some
that.
weird Hunter S. Thompson logic.
So, when we last left our heroes, it's been a while, so I'm going to have to remind y'all of the wacky hijinks. So last time on Trash Heroes, I should say this like it's some kind of Hispanic soap opera. The party had acquired the cargo they were seeking from the crashed airship in the Silver Mountains and were traveling through said mountains when they received a message from the wizard Dangalf the Dun, who choppily and patchily told them that the Thieves Guild, who was hiring them, wants them to deliver their cargo to the city of Dwimmerdell by the night of the full moon, which is only a week or so away. And so, in order to facilitate that, they were instructed to meet with Senora Tarea Garante at the village of Porquera. En route, the group discovered that the difficulties they had been having with their journey, the curse that they seemed to be under, were in fact due to an ethereal stalker that was plaguing them, and they managed to banish the creature. At the town of Porquera, they met with Terrera Garante, who informed them that she could get them magically teleported to Dormerdell if only they could get quickly to the city of Puerto Dorado on the coast, and there meet with a mysterious group of secret society of mages called the Sodalitas Ortis. So using Copernicus's various summoned demon horse methods to travel the roads at breakneck speeds, the group blundered into a band of tax-collecting soldiers, and thus got caught up in a raid by the notorious and beloved Bandito El Gato.
More like a tax collecting soldiers, because they got taxed.
Hey.
Stick around for more of that.
They got a tabaxi.
They got tabaxi, taxi. Anyway, we'll workshop it. After assisting El Gato in defeating the soldiers and stealing the tax money for the poor, the team continued on to Puerto Dorado, with just a day left to spare, only to find the city under lockdown. So that is where we will pick up.
Oh, I
with
need to roll
our
for a new
hero.
god for the day, don't I?
Yeah,
Dorado.
let's do that. Let's
That's
start
where we
with
are.
Got my D30 out.
I will open up the,
29. The number for today is 29. 29.
where is your list? There we go.
Vente
Enemy's
Nueva.
god list.
That's like almost
29.
max
That's right,
god.
yeah.
Almost max god. Almost max god.
I'm curious who Max God is.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same.
I'm Max God.
I'll remind you because it's been rolled before. Number
Yeah.
30 was Mork,
Oh, good.
the goblin trickster.
Oh, good.
But you have rolled 29. 29 is far more interesting. It is Olidamara, the god of the laughing rogue, patron of bards, god of music and revelry, humor, tricks, and so forth. His symbol is a twisted harlequin's mask that is half black and half white.
Oh, today's gonna be fun.
Yup.
Indeed.
What can go wrong? Besides everything.
Music. Okay, so you are. Hey, let's pull the map up. Actually, let's get right into the map.
Let's go back to the map.
Map times.
I already had it up. We are Puerto Dorado.
Excellent. Very good. So you are hiding currently along the banks of the Rio Largo and observing the city, and you can see the rather extreme nature of the lockdown. There are, in fact, shimmering magical walls extending up from within various parts of the city, like a strange labyrinth of shimmering curtains of light. And there are, of course, a very, very heavily guarded gates. The outer walls that normally beyond which there is a shanty town, of course, the shanty town is still there. But you can see that people aren't traversing in and out of the gates. All of the gates are shut.
Fair.
And whenever you see any of the gates open, it's because of either soldiers coming out or someone getting very, thoroughly checked before they go in with like a wagon or something.
And I missed the end of last session. Do we know the nature of the lockdown? Is it like because of El Gato? Is it a pandemic
You
thing?
do not.
No, okay.
You do not know the nature of the lockdown. And that, for no particular reason, reminds me that I think it's time to have our first poll already.
Oh boy.
Let's start the
yeah.
game
Time
off
to
with a
get
poll.
fucked over.
Everyone likes a poll.
Move this.
Hey, everybody, who feels like a poll?
I mean,
Oh, I do.
my last name ends in ski, so I very much feel like
Hey.
Well
Not my
done.
circus, not my monkeys.
Man, that's
Oh yeah, that's from
insane.
Polish, right? That's,
Yeah, that's the best Polish say. That's the best saying. Honestly,
is.
it's really one of the best.
It
things.
is.
One of my favorite things is collecting expressions from other languages. So anytime I'm talking to someone who English is not their first language, and they're like, "I don't remember the expression in English," I always stop them and I'm like, "First, tell it to me in your language, because I want to know."
Mhm.
I ambushed an
fair.
Italian last night to learn what the equivalent of throwing a wrench in the works is, and it's just putting a stick in the spokes.
Part of me wishes you had stopped that sentence. That I ambushed an
Ambushed an
Italian
Italian
last
last
night.
night. Yeah.
This is just one
End of context.
One of the hobbies. Yeah, that was good. That was both a Polish joke and a skiing joke. Really excellent.
Oh right, yeah.
Yes, as always, the poll is now running 10 minutes in its entirety. As always, everybody in the chat, you guys get a vote and can use your channel points, bits, and what have you to vote multiple times if you are interested in ensuring a particular outcome.
If you
So
like
please.
many Texas politicians who don't really
Please.
care for democracy, use what you
Exactly.
got. Stop it.
Yeah, you can buy that democracy. You too can, like the GOP, can purchase election outcomes.
This fucking state so
Um,
much.
So, yeah, vote early, vote often. And while that poll is running, so I'll, just remind y'all that basically you just come barreling down the road after driving all night for a few nights to make it. You bypassed the city of Santo Bianco, knowing that you were perhaps being looked for thereabouts. You passed rapidly through the town of San Minos and have now come down from the
Saint
north.
Babies?
Mhm.
My favorite
Nino?
Metallica album.
Saint Babies?
Indeed.
Just imagining all these little babies being crucified now. It's not
Oh,
it's not
yeah.
an image I want in my head right
I'm
now.
just picturing an entire saint made out of babies. Just a
Oh,
pile
yeah.
of babies.
Santa Poco means basically Saint Tiny. Or Saint,
How did that saint
Little.
die? Well, he was killed by babies.
Yeah, there you go.
The giant
Saint
babies.
Tiny
Hence
also
the name.
sounds like the
Stuff.
Enforcer Saint, who like it's his nickname, but he's really huge. I'm gonna beat the purgatory out of you.
Yikes.
Good.
Okay.
Isn't that just regular Christianity?
Yeah, basically.
I mean, yeah.
So yeah, you're here with your guide, who will be joining us shortly. I believe, Alina, what did you hear for an ETA?
Nothing yet. I just sent a
Yeah.
follow-up. That was me. I
I
wasn't peeking
believe
at the poll. I
the
was just
last
trying
I
to
heard
see what was up.
was by 4, so like
Yeah. Yeah.
like 10. to
They are
15
they are
minutes,
in a
big
business meeting.
deal. Indeed.
What?
Yeah.
That sounds fake.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was literally leading a job interview right
Something.
before this,
Yes.
and that sounds really fake.
Also fake.
I
Someone
was
who
writing a
trusted
comic
me.
for Bluto and Brutus.
That
to
doesn't
make
sound fake
everyone
at all.
angry. So to make everyone angry who wants them to be the same person.
I am drawing some anime foot fetish porn for a joke in my comic.
Very good.
That is also
It's,
not sound fake.
it's very bad, actually. But
Let's be real. Someone's gonna masturbate to it.
oh yeah, no,
I mean-
I'm gonna put the full
fully
size
erect.
one up on my Patreon. Get some money for it. Be good.
Good.
Yeah.
Whereas
Might as
on my
well.
Patreon this past week, it's been post-apocalyptic comics
Yay.
done in the rubber hose cartoon style.
Nice.
No. There's a 3-way tie happening here. That's not supportable.
Oh no,
Yes.
all of it's gonna happen.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with this vote.
You can always do is make a secret worst possible option for ties. Like, okay, everyone voted for everything, so here, I'm breaking the glass, pulling the worst thing
Well,
out
see-
you didn't know about.
Sometimes a tie is appropriate and
It
and
can be- it can be
handleable.
two things.
Sometimes not so much. So anyway, Senora Tarea informs you that what appears to have happened here is something bad is happening, and they have gotten the priests of the city to create these nested anti-magic zones. And this is bad news because it means that any significant magic, which includes, your
Flying.
basically all your stuff,
Yeah. Invisibility.
And teleporting our
yeah.
asses out of here?
is all that kind of magic would require to be registered. Basically, there's like a magical passport document that would allow passage through these different parts of the city, and so that's the purpose of this kind of a lockdown.
Do we
It
have to
restricts the
go-
movement.
To the goddamn TSA. The Sorceress Academy is going to give us our papers.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, god damn it.
Now,
All of
Tarea,
my worries about
Fuck
flying
that.
to cons
Fuck
is like
that. Fuck
in my fantasy game.
no, we're gonna play the best fantasy game. You guys are gonna go to basically the DMV,
No.
and you're gonna stand in
Right.
line.
Good.
I'm
Well,
so
make-
excited.
I'll make rolls for what kind of encounters you have.
Can I change my class to Karen?
And
Is
those
a
are the
saint the
monsters.
hair swoop?
That's a monster class only.
Oh no.
I'm a saint here. Come on, make it playable. Charlie gets a hair swoop and has Uggs, even though he's got hooves.
Has Uggs as a feat.
Get some
Um,
Lululemons.
Yep.
As the most undead of us, I can work at the DMV.
It's true. I mean, they hire zombies. They're an equal opportunity employer. So basically, yeah, Tarea is of course a bureaucracy expert, but to get you guys into the city and sort of sneak around and find her contacts that can be used to set up something like these magical passports, you would have to leave some stuff behind in order to get into town.
Well, the problem being we have us, but also like we have that big crate that we need to be sending to Dwimmerdell.
Mhm.
So we need to smuggle some shit into the city.
Or we need to split. If we split the party to get a pass for the stuff, some people could stay with it and just guard it, and some people could try and do the old forgery, whatever we need.
Yeah.
Forgery?
Yeah. Is that not what we all call?
It sounds like a weird, like, crime version of Mary Poppins.
I would watch that.
Forgery.
The Mary Poppins of crime.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know what? That would be an amazing book series.
Yeah,
That would be
I
really
do
good.
that.
I'm so into that.
It's a magical nanny, but still, like, teaching them about sugar making medicine go down. It's just like, all right, here's how you break a lock.
Here's how to do a second story job, kids.
I'm picturing her like helping in a firefight by like floating down on the umbrella, but with like sunglasses and a machine gun.
Mhm.
Actually, I can see her, like, just positioned just right, closing the umbrella, just dropping, breaking someone's neck.
Yeah.
Just a spoonful of
Remember,
bullets.
kids, no one talks, everyone walks.
Good. Snitches Got Stitches is my favorite musical number from that show.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So, yeah, I mean, you could split the party, which is always highly recommended by the game master.
Never,
How
ever goes
How about
badly.
we, how about
Nothing
we
is
talk
ever
this out in
happened
character?
poorly.
Because I'm sure we have some bad ideas
Yeah.
in character.
Let's discuss the situation. So Tarea has informed you that she has contacts that she could take you to get some magical passports sorted out for your stuff, but you'd have to leave your stuff behind to do that.
What if we put a blanket on it? Then they couldn't see it.
Ah, the convention method.
Yep.
That's how tables work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Always worked for me.
You can never lift a table and take something, ever. It's against the code.
It's against the code.
I hate to say we might have to leave some people behind. Like,
Yeah.
I don't leave just our one or two guides.
Well, and we don't have
Because,
guides anymore, do we? I think it's just
No.
us.
Yeah, you left them behind.
Maybe we could say that I'm coming in to fight somebody, and they'll let me in my equipment in.
I don't think they're going to care in the middle of a giant whatever the fuck's going on, though.
I don't know how else we're gonna get in there then. I mean, I'm not.
We'd always murder our way in.
It's a
Sneak
lot of
in?
murder.
It is a lot
I
of
mean-
murder.
Can I Arcana to find out if Barb is going to be detectable?
Yeah, you absolutely
I
can
forgot
do
about
an
that.
Arcana check.
Yeah.
For,
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
you
that's
just
important.
generally give me an Arcana check, checking out these magic.
And a question that I have that I guess never really occurred to me is I am haunted by her, but also the bucket is haunted. But like, would she still be ghosting around if I left the bucket behind? Which I don't want to do anyway. But is it even possible? So can I Arcana that and come up with the best guess?
Yeah, give me the Arcana check, and I'll give you some information.
28.
That is extremely good. Okay, you're very good at this. So first of all, you're vaguely familiar with this kind of magic. It's basically a ritualized version of like an anti-magic shell that only allows magic to pass through it that's been sort of approved on the list. However, that can be very, very dangerous because there are like magical beings that like die in an anti-magic zone. And so
Yeah,
you kind of quiz...
I have some concerns about that myself, if I were to be honest.
Yeah, so you kind of quiz Senora Garante about the how this happened before, what kind of stuff was involved, and you come quickly to the conclusion that this is only going to prevent greater magics, so basically magics that are attuned.
Okay.
So a magical spell effect would probably not be able to cross. But the person that spell effect was on would be fine. It just they would lose that spell. But any magic items that are not attuned So, for example, in your group, that includes Ugna's equipment is not attuned magic,
What about
but
the
the rune
boots?
boots are.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Likewise, Fetid's alchemy jug
Mhm.
is not attuned,
Fair.
but you can you imagine that filth would not be able
Hmm.
to cross. Because although filth is sort of a magical being, filth is also part of a magical item.
Oh, sweet
Sure.
baby filth.
Little filthy.
Tromlin's elven cloak would be fine, but like the prayer beads would not.
So
Um,
I'm
in
gonna
your
help
case-
everyone do their TSA pre-screening and just like I'll make piles of their stuff for like you can go through with this. This you need to put in a bucket and with your keys.
Is there like an ArriveCan app we can put on our
Yeah.
magical
That'd be good.
devices?
Yeah.
enter them all in.
Yeah,
Um,
Fetid's survey is going to be like, have you had exposure to anything like dirty or contagious? Have you
Yeah.
licked any sewer bottoms?
I just
Correct,
start
yes.
sweating profusely.
So, in your professional magical opinion, your ritual dagger
Ooh.
would not be able to cross,
Ooh.
Okay.
but your book of shadows and the bucket of Barb's remains would be able to
Okay.
cross.
Okay.
Because even though those are kind of greater magic items, in game mechanic terms, one of them is a cursed item that's not attuned to you, and the other is the book is a class feature, so it kind of doesn't count.
Cursed with love.
Yep.
So I'll spell it to everyone like this. I think these ones we can get through. I think these ones are going to set off some alarm bells. And obviously, and I'll like gesture to the cart, which is floating with an anti-gravity sphere linked to a anti-scrying field to a thing. And I don't think this will get through the metal detector in one of our pockets. I think we're gonna need to figure out some way to deal with that.
Hey, Fetid,
Yeah.
do you think there's Quaggles in this town?
I would almost certainly know that, and I'm gonna guess yes, or at least some sort of.
Yeah, any major
Yeah.
center.
Do you
Yeah.
think
have
they
Quaggles.
would have these magic metal detectors underground? So maybe we can get some stuff in that way.
That seems unlikely, and I can certainly use my contacts to try and, make contact and see if they can maybe help us sneak our gear in. I think that's a good suggestion.
Yeah, you do know that the shanty town outside the walls is still there. There's just controlled movement between them. So you could indeed go and speak at the shanty town.
Because
While
I
you're
like
having
my
this
boots, and
conversation,
I want them to still be fancy.
Yeah, they're good.
while you're having this conversation,
Wait,
you
the TSA is literally gonna make you take off your shoes.
Yep.
you hear this high-pitched wailing noise that gets louder and louder. Like at first you don't notice it, and you're having your conversation, and then it gets louder and louder, and then the next hill over, the rise closer towards the city and the harbor, you see this arc of fire come over the city and land on that hill with an explosion. And there's like chunks of dirt go flying everywhere.
I think it's a poll result. In the distance there.
I think this is an issue.
Can I try and get a like? I don't think I have any magical way to do this, but can I just look better to try and guess what it is or figure out what it is? Can
I mean,
investigate from a
there's
distance?
some truth seeing kicking around. That
Oh
might help.
yeah.
Ugna's into this. She's like, oh, fireworks.
Grand Nugget, can we take a peek, see through the old Gemaroo? I don't know why I'm making up.
Yes.
I pull out the Gemo Chusei.
Yeah, so out in the out beyond the city, there's heavy mist in the morning, as there was when you guys came into the to this same ocean a few miles to the north. And out in the fog, there are shapes, and the gem basically pierces some of the magical nature of some of this fog that is obscuring the blockade of enormous dragonborn ships that are all facing the city. And as you watch, another arcing ball of flame comes over the city and crashes into one of the towers. But it hits these shimmering walls of force and kind of disperses, and the flames flicker off like they're like like sort of like an alcohol fire.
Well, if we're stupid, we can always try to deflect the attack, and therefore they'd like us unless we're doing what we want. I think that's going to end badly.
Seems likely.
So am I correct that you're going to try and make your way down to the shanty town?
Yeah, I think that, unless anybody has an objection, I think that's a good plan.
Yep.
Makes total sense.
Are you doing anything to reduce your ostentatiousness?
That might be a
Let's
good
be
idea.
sneaky.
Because you are driving a giant golden chariot that's floating off the ground and driven by like flaming horses.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
I will write a sign and put on a sign that says, "This is not a chariot."
I can make a
could
sign
try
for the
to-
horses that says that these are totally normal horses.
I mean, I'll pass without trace the flaming horse chariot, I guess.
I will put up the student driver sign so they know to leave us alone.
So what can we? Is Ugna strong enough to carry the cart thrust away, or like pull the cart thrust away without the anti-magic? Or if we like bring the anti-magic lower and like cover it with something so that it's less like
Or the anti-gravity sphere?
Right.
yeah.
Like I'm sure if
So,
the
like-
stuff's floating, I could pull it, no problem.
Yeah, so like we'll basically tack or nail a cloth out to around the edge of the crate to hold the anti-magic.
It's
sphere.
really big. Like the
It's really-
anti-magic or the anti-gravity sphere was
Anti-gravity
like
sphere's big.
like what 8 feet across? I think I
Oh
said.
right.
Like it's not small. You're not going to be able to disguise that. You could just cut it loose. At this point, just pulling the chariot, like it's light enough that it was, could be pulled by a single horse, which means it definitely could be pulled by Upen.
Okay, hold on. How much weight have we figured out that the anti-gravity sphere can lift up with it? Will it won't just float away if we release it, right? Or if we like push it or throw it, will it go really far? I'm just curious.
Yeah, it would. So when you found it, it was wedged between the rocks of the mountain, and you have no idea if it would have just floated away.
So we can
it certainly
harness it
was
and tie it to a
capable.
tree.
Well, I kind of feel like throwing it up at one of the ships, like with some kind of present attached to it. And by present, I mean like a demon or an
I
explosive.
can also summon a planar ally.
Yeah.
Oh, you can, and you haven't done that yet.
I have not.
What if we just sent up some reckoning for the old dragonborn Arus up there?
So we are going to fight them after all.
Or just like we have this
See what
thing.
happens.
Yeah, we're about to send a helium balloon off into the sky to pop. We may as well blow up a warship, right? Like.
Yep.
I mean, this whether or not you're trying to impress anyone, like that's just that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have firecrackers. There's a toilet here. Let's-
Hell yeah.
Fairy bomb!
That's
Oh,
what got
yes.
me kicked out of kobold school.
So,
Imagine that
can you?
in like a leather jacket with his hair
Oh,
greased
yeah.
back.
Yep.
Good.
Greaser fitted. I mean, I am
Yes.
technically covered in grease, so.
A little
Can I-
switchbait leg comb.
Yep.
Can I cover the surface of it with tentacles?
So like the Evered Spike Tentacle spell.
Yeah, let me find out what the surface area of an 8-foot sphere is.
I mean, I would say in general, we can switch off the map. By the way, Elena, let's switch it
Sounds
back
good.
to a
Just regular.
Let's switch it back
view.
to a normal view. So one thing to keep in mind is there are some extra hero points floating around.
Oh heck.
So if you want to like do something relatively spectacular that's outside the realm of the normal limitations of these spells, that's certainly something that can be goosed.
I think I would. No, I think I've already used my hero point. I think I'm out of cool things.
You used your extra hero point. You still have a hero point.
Then let me spend recklessly.
Awesome.
Fetid
Fetid
and
and Cromlin
Cromlin
have
each have
two.
an extra
Yeah.
Yeah.
right now.
So all I'm saying is the surface area of an 8-foot sphere is 200 square feet. So I can definitely, there's enough room for me to put the whole spell on there. I think sending up like a flaming tentacled sphere at one of the ships would be a great use of resources.
Definitely.
I mean,
I
I would
wholeheartedly
argue-
agree.
And we can have a planar ally riding the top with like deadly tentacles on the bottom.
And also
Just
guide
flipping
it,
them
right?
off
Because
the
you
whole way
can't,
along.
like, the sphere is not built around a ship right now. Like,
Yeah.
there's no, or a ship is not built around the sphere. So all it is it's like anti-ballast. It just, like, will lift a thing. It's not going to
Yeah.
go anywhere. So if Tromlin summons a planar ally, that could be a being that can maneuver this sphere to where you want it to go. And then
Yeah.
drop whatever you wish to drop from it. Or on it.
If only we had an alchemist.
Cool.
Well, in that case, Tromlin, shall we do the summon planar ally? I'm very
Here's my
excited
question.
for
I
you.
get to choose the ally I choose, right? I want.
No, you do not. It is based on the god that you are worshiping today.
Oh, good lord.
How convenient.
It's gonna be a heavy metal angel.
Someone's really quiet. Was that Alina?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, Lena, get your.
am I not as quiet now?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
you're
you're going
cleaner
through the
now.
headset instead of your.
Oh, okay.
speaker
That's
or
probably
your-
just in Discord.
Yeah, just change the setting.
The actual
Alright,
stream version of me is through the microphone.
I'm looking at planar ally now, so to beseech otherworldly entity for aid. You must the being must be known to you, a primordial, a demon prince, or other cosmic powers. It is someone I can know.
Yes, but it's not. So this is not a spell that you have. It's an item.
Oh, gotcha.
Right.
Makes
So
sense.
it was basically the prayer beads that you have is a necklace of beads of alternating colors, and the colored beads primarily they're either healing or restoration spells, and then the centerpiece larger bead is the one that you can use to cast the summon planar ally.
Gotcha.
And it summons it works like this spell, but the actual being that you summon is based on your current state of worship.
I have this horrible fear that my god is going to say, you know, it'd be hilarious to send that avatar you fucked.
Yeah, I could see that.
'Cause that would be mischief.
That would be mischievous, but it wouldn't be an ally that is related to that particular god.
Sure.
Which is sort of like, because the planar ally, the implication is that it's coming from the plane of the god that you're praying to.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's see what happens.
What's the worst that could
Oh, shut your goddamn.
In Ugna's mind, this is just the same as when Perny summons demons.
Uh-huh.
It's a family trait. You both can just summon friends from elsewhere.
happen? Yeah.
So you pray, effectively. So you're going to get out your holy symbol
Pray
On the
every single
keychain.
day.
with the two-tone mass, and you clasp the prayer bead, the central prayer bead. What do you say? What is your prayer to Oladamara?
Aladamara.
Yep.
Aladamara, I beseech you, we need to enter the city to accomplish our mission. But it is also a perfect opportunity for you to sow some mischief amongst these Dragonborn who are obviously taking themselves way too seriously. Please grant us your favor and an ally so we can introduce them to the comedy of failure for early leaders.
Excellent.
I mean, I'm no eldritch god, but if I heard that, I would be sold.
Okay, well, in that case,
Bernie's wiping his beard.
an avatar will appear.
Yay!
And in fact, you might even like sweeten the deal with this little prayer because you've got some fancy wine, and this is a god of wine and music, wine and song.
I will pull out the nice wine. I will set up a chalice. I'll make a makeshift altar as I'm praying. So I'll put the best wine in my best goblet. I'll put some of my best food out as well.
Yeah. Play some music.
Mm-hmm.
It is a bardish god. So the avatar of this god appears, and there's a point of light where you are sort of above the altar you're praying that grows and grows and grows until it resolves itself into a blindingly bright white suit. And it's not just white. It's white with like many sparkling gems
Is it
all over it,
Elvis?
which you quickly discover to be rhinestones. And then it has these huge shoulder pads that then unfurl into massive wings.
The king has entered the building.
Yeah. And as the light recedes from its face, you see the enormous pompadour that is glistening, shiny black with grease, and the big, shining rhinestone-studded sunglasses. And then it reaches out its hands, and the light coalesces into a big, fancy-looking guitar.
Hell yeah. I'm religious now.
And this like 7.5 foot tall angelic
Elvis.
being from the heavens steps out. It's like a cross between imagine I'm gonna mush together it's Elvis, Adam Lambert, and I just forgot the actor's name. Ash from Evil Dead.
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell. Yeah.
Who
it's
played Elvis,
It's Bruce
thank you,
Campbell
sir.
Elvis. It is actually, that's better. It's Bruce
Perfect.
Campbell playing Elvis
As an
with
angel.
but with Adam Lambert modern flair.
Very
Into it.
fancy.
And 7.5 feet tall, winged and glowing.
There's a
That's
7.5
just regular
feet
Bruce
for
Campbell.
Pompadour.
Yeah. It's basically Bruce Campbell in his purest form. um,
He has ascended. He's digivolved.
Yeah, and he like he strikes a chord, which is just like, it's like one of those background music moments from
Yeah.
like a Tenacious D video where they're like,
Or please the Lord.
yeah, where they're gonna like fight with the devil.
Yeah.
Panties come flying in for no reason, from nowhere.
Yeah, just from nowhere, like from other planes.
Yeah.
Other planar entities throw their underwear at him, and he just sings out, oh,
Oh,
give me some sugar, baby.
Ugna looks starstruck. She's just like,
You have called and I have come.
I wish I had known it was gonna be him. I got brought in stop putting wine on, put Quaaludes.
Peanut butter and pickle
Peanut butter
sandwich.
banana sandwich, yes.
And a proper toilet to die on.
Uh-huh.
That's what they made the altar out of.
yeah.
I offer him up the best wine and the best food.
Yeah. He like pulls the cork out of the wine with his teeth and spits it off and like just downs it.
And I explain our idea of taking this winged chariot and basically bombing the shit out of the Dragonborn for no fucking reason other than it's hilarious at this point.
So,
Very funny.
just to confirm, then a hero point is being spent.
Yes, for me, yes.
Awesome.
Okay.
Oh, mark that off.
So Trommon's going to ditch a hero point on this. So you decorate this ball. You pass this 8-foot floating sphere to angelic magic Elvis. With
Disco ball.
well, yeah,
Oh,
but like
yeah.
you
Let's go
have
bomb.
festooned the ball. The exterior of the ball is basically Everard's black tentacles and like a demonic fire. I forget which demon you summon that's made of fire, but you just like summon a halo of
Throckmah.
fire around the ball. Not Throckmah, he breathes fire, but one of your demons is basically like a flame, a ball of flame. It's
Rig.
the one that you don't summon very often because you have to basically be not worried about collateral damage.
Right.
You're no longer worried about this. Or encouraging
The
it.
Shadow DM reminds me
Oh,
it is
Edgar
Adol
Reza.
Reza.
Yeah.
And so, Magic Flying Elvis will just heft this floating ball up on one hand, this ball of like demon fire and snaky tentacles, and he launches himself into the air on his wings, and you hear the like heavy metal solo that accompanies his flight, which he plays one-handed on the magic guitar that just
A Death
depresses
Miller
the
version of Flight of Valkyries.
Yeah, he's like, finger tapping like a Trans-Siberian Orchestra version of Flight of the
Steve
Valkyries.
Vai action, yeah.
And then he flies over the Dragonborn fleet, picks out the biggest ship, of course, and like plays some basketball and just like launches the ball down with a mighty sweep towards the main deck. This ball of Everard's tentacles and demon fire.
White planar allies can't jump.
Yeah. It's okay because he's got wings.
Yeah.
So he just hovers above. He's cheating. All the basketball
Did he steal
gods
the
are
wings
rolling
like he
their
stole the
eyes.
songs?
Yeah, wings makes it easier. So that's going on.
I'm just watching it in awe.
Imagine being the person who's on like the wall doing watching.
The
Okay, they're
fuck?
what in the motherfuck?
Also,
Just
before all
another
this
boring
majesty
day.
happens, Ugna's gonna like elbow Perny and be like, "He's got buddies from beyond too."
Yeah,
What's
Purdy's
this?
like wiping tears, like he's just so proud and happy. Like they may not be demonic, but at least they're weird. I love it. I can accept this.
Yep.
I can't imagine any god I worship is going to be giving me
No.
here's an archon. No, here is.
You could have been worshiping Mork.
Yeah. None of your gods are associated with a heaven.
I'm waiting for the one who sends the ally that's basically Curly Howard.
Oh, good.
Summon Mo.
All right,
I want
noted.
that to be a spell now. Summon
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the mother of all distractions. So you actually previously, Alina, were carrying the chariot because
Yeah.
you'll recall you push a button and it will break down into a steamer trunk
Yep.
again.
With a little backpack strap.
The only issue is the crate on its own is quite sizable, so you could just stick with the original. The crate is on the chariot, and you just pull the chariot. You don't need the demon horses.
Probably that's easier because it'll be harder to maneuver otherwise.
Mo.
Yeah, so when I can tear my gaze away from this spectacle happening, I'll like, all right, let's go, and then let's start running this
much does
chariot
the
towards
crate-
the city.
How much does the crate weigh?
We didn't really sort it out because you did have various means of hauling it.
Could Ugna carry it just in such a way that by definition it's considered one of her possessions?
Ugna can definitely lift the crate and like carry it around, just not like not as baggage for a long-term
Yeah.
hike.
But if we were to say thunderstep through the city wall, which I could take someone with me, or Tromlin, I don't know if Face Step has this.
You believe that would not function right now. Those anti-magic barriers would prevent it.
Okay, so because I thought there were pockets, and I wasn't sure if there were like holes in the defenses, basically, where there is no anti-magic field, or maybe that's some research we can do also.
Yeah, Sonora
was wondering,
Garante will tell you that they're basically there's like one around the whole city that's probably not as powerful, but they're basically, they look like a labyrinth because they're around strategic places.
Mm.
Okay.
So certain streets, certain buildings, certain areas would all be cordoned off, and it means that it's all. The idea is that if you have a passport with a certain permission on it, you could pass just through the city gate and get into the gate, but you wouldn't be able to get into any particular special area. And then you'd have like a different level passport to go into certain places, but you'd need, document edition 5HB in order to go into like certain it's a bureaucracy.
Yeah.
And in fact, Garante will give you a very extensive lecture on it if you let her, because this is kind of her area of expertise.
I mean,
Hopefully
Bernie
us
is not
just-
in the habit of interrupting people, so if she gets started, he's just gonna. Oh.
My hope is this us destroying one of their ships will at least make them like friendly towards us.
So for now, you've made your way to the edges of the shantytown, and you have various means of. I'm going to assume maybe I'll get a stealth roll from everybody, but primarily I'm just interested in Ugna here, because it's about that. It's about the cart. Which, I mean, you can probably throw like a blanket or something over it, so all of the like ostentatious steampunk
Yeah.
brass work is like
I got a 19,
an issue.
so that's
Nice.
pretty good.
Me too.
That's
Nice.
really good.
So a
Like you
19.
actually rolled a 19?
I rolled a 14. I've got a +5.
Okay.
So with
So-
Pass Without Trace, that's another like 29.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a +10.
Yeah.
Now, I would give you disadvantage from the fact that you're hauling a chariot with you and trying
That's
to be
true.
stealthy.
I will roll again.
But don't, because
Okay.
remember the usual state of affairs is that Tromlin designates you the recipient of his bonus.
Cool.
Yep.
Right? I'm
I
trying to
got
remember
a
what it's called.
31.
Ooh, nice.
The blessing of the trickster.
Yep.
So for 1 hour, Tromlin can bestow advantage on stealth rolls. And I
Nice.
assume that's generally used for Ubna.
I mean, the person who's going to have the hardest time being stealthy.
Yeah, and is carrying all of our stuff. And
Yeah,
an owl
especially
bear.
in this situation.
So I will counter those advantage and disadvantage. So you're just straight up rolling.
Cool. That was a
and then you get the bonus.
the 19.
So that's a 29 for the thanks to Pass Without Trace.
As
Now,
I full-on
obviously, there
cronk
are
this.
penalties to
Yeah.
moving around with a, you're not going to be as hidden as you would be if you were like army crawling through the bushes. But that's still really good. And then everybody else, is anybody roll less
I
than
rolled
that?
a 19, so that means I have a 37.
You just
Nice.
vanish.
I got 31. I didn't do it quite that good.
I'm the slacker at 21 here.
We are like the sneakiest D&D party,
Yep.
even with Una.
We're full on Looney Tunesing it. Like there's like trees on the
Yeah.
open plain, and like one of
Yep.
us will appear from behind it, and then
Mhm.
behind the other tree.
It's a xylophone walk, and we're in the exact same shape of the
Yep.
tree.
Mhm.
Which is the rock. We're in the shape of the rock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I think we should probably get in touch with some local quaggles, figure out if there's any
Agreed.
ways into the city or good passport forgers.
At the very least, they can take our magic stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, and or if not, they can watch our goodies. And I'm still wondering if there's like, what is the thinnest point in the anti-magic shield that rings around the city, and how thin is it? Like how
I
many
mean,
feet?
it's a
The
circle.
least guarded. Okay, but like,
Like,
is the
it's
whole
complete.
interior, is the entire interior of the city complete with like every step you take is within an anti-magic thing, or
No,
is it
it's a barrier. Like you pass it.
yeah?
So if you have the right passport, you just walk through it and then you're fine. If you don't, then you can't pass through it with certain magic items can't pass through it. So you could, but like you'd be like your let's say you had your magic dagger in your pocket, you would be like caught by your cloak
Yeah.
with the dagger on the outside.
So it's theoretically, what do you think would happen if we did try to teleport through it at its thinnest point?
You made such a great Arcana check. I would just say it would fail. The magic spell would just fail.
Okay.
Because the magic spell can't pass. Or more likely, you might teleport to like kissing distance from the barrier and no further.
With my pants down. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
I mean, it depends on your style, your personal spell style.
All right. We can't thunder step through all of our problems. So surrender that solution.
So, Fetid,
Yes.
you can quickly make contact with some of the local quaggles.
Mhm.
They are generally hunkering down. Now, like the city of Santo Bianco, the local city does not have extensive dungeons under it. There is a very basic system of like sewer drainage, which isn't even really a sewer. Like it's not meant for, excrement. It's basically used for like water drainage so that like the city doesn't flood easily.
Mhm.
And that's basically it. So very like Santo Bianco, the local quaggles are mostly kind of just viewed as lesser peasants. As you know, the peasantry of this nation are fairly downtrodden to begin with. There's basically a system here of patron and underling. So it's sort of feudal, but more the basic peons expect a certain degree of protection from their lords or whoever they're, the dons, generally speaking. And the ones within the cities aren't sort of working for anyone specific, which kind of gives them a little bit of a, less standing, but then they can expect that the city priesthood and soldiery are supposed to be protecting them. So it's that kind of feudal idea where there's actually a give and take, where it's not just like, I'm not just your slave. I am of this social stature, which means your job is to, protect my butt, and I run the heck away if there's a problem. And quaggles are just kind of like a step down from that.
I mean, we are short.
Yeah, they're like literally a step down. So most of the quaggles here are, ratkin, halflings. There's not a lot of goblinoids around here. There are small tabaxi. There are
Street cats?
Imps or small tiefling types. And that sort of thing. And they're mostly sort of like dressed in simple, like peasant clothes, basic white shirts and trousers. They're like you saw in Santo Bianco, they often have the big sombrero style sun protection hats, because it's all very hot, dry grassland out here. So in the shanty town, basically in the kind of, they're like alleyway dwellers. And there are, of course, burrows, especially the ratkin will like burrow into the riverbanks, and the hobbits or halflings. Ooh, I'll get in trouble. Halflings. Don't sue me,
This
Amazon.
Tolkien is just shaking with rage somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, he doesn't give a shit. He's shaking with rage that Amazon bought it in the first place. I don't know who actually. I guess the Tolkien estate still owns the rights generally.
I think
It's all
they're,
leased.
but I think the Tolkien estate is certainly not unlitigious. Like I think if you say
Oh,
X,
yes.
they'll come for money.
They're very
Mhm.
very much litigious. Is why there's never been hobbits in D&D. It's halflings.
I think it's also
Yep.
why there's treants.
Right, yeah.
Yep.
It's weird because he himself wasn't like. Side note, like my high school newspaper was called the Palantir. It was called that because a student wrote him a letter asking permission, and he gave it. He's like, "Yeah, sure, go for it."
Yeah, he
Right.
was pretty. There was like a prancing pony in England that had his permission,
Oh, cool.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Jam is incoming.
yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
incoming jam. Everybody
Yeah.
duck.
Fun quick aside at what show is it? UK Games Expo. One year, I got drunk with Jason Wiseman, Jason Anarchy, creator of Drinking Quest, and we went for a midnight on foot expedition to Molesley Bog, where Tolkien sort of started dreaming about Ents and invented a lot of Middle Earth and was inspired to think about these creatures, and just like stampeded around this bog in the dark. It was amazing. It
Oh,
was
that's
an amazing
awesome.
time.
Sweet. Sweet.
I once got
I'm-
drunk and got carried to my hotel room by a Power Ranger. That's about
my
my full
God.
story.
What?
Johnny Young Bosch had to help carry me back to my hotel room
Oh
once.
my god.
Love
I'm
it.
sure he tells the story of carrying like the Popeye artist to.
He
his
does
hotel
not. He does not.
room. He will.
His
He will.
band, however, his bandmates kept calling me because I got drunk off 151. Called me 151 for the rest of the convention.
Great.
Good.
Excellent.
That was also your blood alcohol level.
8 shots of 151 before the mixed drinks. It might have been.
So you've made contact with some quaggles.
Cool. Hello, fellow Quaggles. Would you like to earn some money doing some equipment smuggling for us?
Weird as
Look at each other. See.
All right. Which one of us has the money and is the best haggler?
I am one of those things.
I just look immediately to Tromlin.
I can haggle.
All right. This gentleman is going to discuss payment with you. We are prepared to offer generous terms, but we have some stuff that we would like snuck into the city and hidden for our later access.
All
Alright, time for some persuasion. Can I also attempt a charmed speech in this?
Oh, sure.
Can I add, like, do you think that any of them would be willing to hide some surveillance devices back in Santo Bianco? A promise is a promise.
So
No.
that bag of surveillance devices certainly qualifies as a powerful enough magic that it wouldn't be able to get in here right now.
Yeah.
But remember, you just promised to plant them in like important, political places.
This,
You're-
this,
Puerto
Yeah.
Dorado is the capital.
Oh.
right.
Like-
Yeah, that qualifies.
Yeah.
It is theoretically a better place to plant these bugs
Okay.
if you can get them past the magic than
Alright, never mind
Santo
then.
Bianco would be.
Don't worry about that. We'll do that ourselves once we're in.
Mhm.
Alright, so, I will attempt my persuasion check.
With your advantage.
You know what the advantage gave me? I rolled 2 16s.
Well,
I mean, it's a 26.
it felt nice.
It's a
to
double
have advantage.
26.
So, so here's the thing: they are very like between Tromlin's Silver Tongue and Fetid's Filthy One, or more
Whoa!
Fetid's. Fetid. I
What are you doing? What are you
This
doing?
guy's
Fetid?
throws off the
spicy.
dart.
Yeah!
And
Kind of haggling
Fetid's
now.
reputation.
This isn't
That
getting any
sound better.
Yeah.
Basically, they are very much interested in helping you. However, they are like equally unable to pass through the magic barriers. So you basically quickly find out from them that the magic spell barriers extend to the water drainage systems.
Okay.
They would basically not permit passage, but they are willing to help you, like if you need to hide something, if you need to like if you decide you wanted to, for example, sneak in and get your these forged or otherwise arranged passports that Torreya is offering, you could use their services to hide and watch your stuff.
Cool.
They're very
Nice.
they're very much convinced to help you.
If they have
Crumlin rolled a
recommendations,
26.
if they have
And I rolled like a
recommendations for,
I rolled a 3. I don't know what insight I was going to give these guys, but I rolled a 3, so
Not
I kind
bad.
of just didn't bother to figure it out.
while we've got them,
I now have a small cult.
Yeah.
Yep.
and can they not pass through at all, or just they also can't get magic stuff through?
B.
Okay. Okay.
They-
I'd be curious to get their advice on like the lay of the city inside and like the best place for us to leave a foreign recording device. If they have any such advice.
So there's an interesting question. Are you having this conversation
In
with
public.
Torreya Garente?
Ooh.
Like I don't know what you've told
No. I will
Torreya
prob-
about that aspect of your plans.
So I will start
Sorry,
saying.
hold on.
Okay,
No
so
worries.
Randy is the grown-up that I needed for this decision. Because probably what's going to happen is Perny's going to start talking about it in front of her, and it will be up to him to like, oh,
Stop him.
Granddad, I think you're forgetting what our plan actually was.
Well, Jam is currently attempting to join us.
Mhm.
We're struggling with the technology. I assume because I saw Jam and then we lost Jam.
Yep. Camera troubles
Um,
being restarted.
but I think we'll wait to do that role play until both Terrera Garente and Tromlin are present.
Cool.
In the meantime, so you've got this steampunk cart covered in a blanket to hide its ostentatiousness, and it's just being pulled by Ugna at the moment. The bunch of you are not currently disguised or anything, but you kind of came around. You made a big stealth roll to come around to the shantytown from some other direction, and you certainly had a bit of a distraction going on the other side of the city, out to sea. So I would say that you're sort of like at the edge of the shanty town, having come down some like little alleyway between ramshackle shacks along the edge of the riverbank where these quaggles have dug their holes. And you got a little group of ratkin and a little group of ratkin halflings who are, happily, very happy to chat with the folk hero Fetid. And of course, Tromlin playing up that sentence. Hooray, Jam has joined us.
It's a
Just to
jam.
bring you quickly up to speed, we left off last time at the city was under lockdown. And the chat through a poll has decided that the lockdown reason was because the city is currently under siege by the Dragonborn ships.
How inconvenient. This is
and
terrible
so
for business.
You were able to inform the party that the lockdown involves magical barriers around various parts of the city that require a very esoteric system of authorities and passports to allow magic items to pass through.
Okay.
And so the party summoned some kind of crazy angelic being that basically looks like giant magic Elvis with wings. And they took the floating sphere that they were using to speed up their travel, and Copernicus did some magic on it to sheath it in flames and black tentacles, and that angel is now launching said chthonic basketball through the hull of one of the ships and causing a bit of a distraction out to sea. And then that allowed the party to sneak up to the shanty town, and they're now chatting with some local quaggles about potentially hiding their magic items with them, allowing them to sneak into the city.
Okay.
And you have already informed them that you, of course, absolutely could arrange magic passports. You have all the contacts, but they would have to leave their magic items behind to get through.
We're not so up on that. I imagine like this comical scene of like, you should all get out your magic items, and we start taking them out of like weird spots. There's just
Yep.
a pile of them
on the floor.
It's not
Yeah.
a heap.
Hey, Jam.
Hi.
We made a mess while you were
Hey.
gone.
A little
I just
bit.
brought them up to speed.
So, Trauma.
Yeah, Copernicus was about to start a conversation. So
Yeah. Tromlin might notice Perny starting to say, do you think we could ask them for recommendations on where we could hide where we could hide the recording devices for you know the thing. Could we put in a little? You're looking at me funny.
Ugna looks confused. She's, oh,
Are we not supposed to talk about the recording devices?
this is certainly the first that Terrera has heard about this.
I guess it doesn't matter anymore.
we're really good at this.
Mm-hmm. Phenomenal.
The secret ones, you remember?
Yes, yes.
Oh
Do,
yeah.
Do I need
You know-
to remind you the meaning of the word secret?
I've done so much effort to get this whole situation and all of your magic stuff through the gates. If these recording devices that I certainly have not heard about are discovered at some point, it will cause issues that I will have no part in.
That's very fair. You don't. I would not
Come
ask you
on,
to lay
nothing
on
could
that line for
possibly go
us.
wrong. We'll be fine.
I swear to God, the next one of you that fucking says
You
that.
people always worry too much.
Nor I do
Hey.
not know what you wish to record. What is our recording device?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Did
They're
you
speaking
see?
of their journals and paperworks that they use to create a log of their adventures to date. It is nothing untoward.
Well, we wish to be helpful, but what is it that you want us to? You asked us for places to put a device. What kind of place do you need?
Can I assess the general intelligence of who I'm talking to?
Of these quaggles?
Yeah.
Sure. Just roll me an insight. You're good at this.
Yeah. I do not have advantage though, correct?
No.
It's
But I'm not even. I'm just giving you a difficulty because I'm not going to roll against you. They're not trying to be deceptive.
I know,
You've already
I
won
think
them
so.
over.
22.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're not stupid.
Okay, good. That's important.
Like they're maybe ignorant. Like they're like, fancy magic technology. These are poor. They're not even poor peasants. They're quaggles. They're like, we live in holes, but we dug by the river, and everyone ignores us or like kicks us when we get too close.
I would
Which
assume
does
every
bother me.
single one of them is smarter than me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're definitely all smarter. Like in fact, you don't survive as a quaggle unless you've got some
Some
Yeah,
smarts.
you're not
street
stupid.
smarts. So they're not stupid. They're just like, what are you asking us to do? All he said was, can you let us know a good place to hide
Some
recording
stuff.
devices? And they don't know what that is. So they're like,
It's a
well,
device that,
I'd love to help you, but what are you asking exactly?
I will say it's a device that can
I
listen
mean,
to
do they really need to know what it does? We could just tell them that, it would be good if they could help us by putting these things in this kind of location.
but do so in a way that it's not known. Do it secretly.
Yes. Because I feel like the less they know about it, probably the better off they would be as well if it were to go awry.
Yeah.
That's my other concern. I don't want to get them hurt.
Yeah.
If you're saying that in front of them, like when
let's-
you start down that road,
No,
they'll start.
I'm saying this out of character.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like maybe an aside or something. Anyway,
Well,
Yeah, no, I'm gonna.
Let's forget about the recording devices. Instead, I was wondering about good places to eavesdrop on important conversations from locals, especially members of the church or who are in power. We just saw Elgato earlier. We do believe in his cause, and we're trying to figure out how to undermine some of the authority that has been mistreating people in. None of this is a lie.
You know,
As far as I'm concerned.
No, it's completely accurate.
Sure.
Yeah.
you
So,
you have met El Gato?
yeah,
Yeah,
I have his
so good.
autograph.
Good guy.
Their eyes all go like anime wide and shiny.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pulling out my big Elgato sword autograph.
Good. The one that you got for our corgi bud.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're all like, who is Gregarian?
He's the Elgato of the North,
He's also
and
super
a friend
cute.
of ours.
Yeah, they're all. If they weren't already like firmly convinced that you're the best people ever,
We just chill out with Elgato. No big deal.
Yeah, as you do.
TBD.
we know that, Senor. We know places to listen to things.
If you could leave these things in those places, in a place where no one will find them, that would be a wonderful help to people who would like to stop the church from hurting so many people.
You hand over the bag.
Yeah.
Okay. The sort of a halfling who seems to kind of be their leader will step forward and take the bag and look inside and says, "These things, Senor, are they magic things?"
They are, but we will make it our responsibility to get them inside the city. That will not be something you have to do. If you let us know where, we can leave them somewhere that in a hiding spot for you to pick up later.
You wish for us to tell you where to put them. That we can
That
do.
works.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, for sure. We can do this.
What?
We can go into the city now and look for good places.
Oh, that would be perfect.
He turns and he says in a southern dialect to his friends, and I think some of you speak this dialect. I know Terrera does, for example.
I do as
Terrea.
well.
I always throw an extra R in the name. I want to say Terrera. It's Terrea.
Yeah.
and he says to his he names a few of his companions and tells them to go into the city and talk to, and he lists a bunch of other quaggles, and get them to search in the what translates to the Pious District.
I think they have
which are-
pies there. Yeah.
Sounds like a great place.
which you assume is full of pies, but Senora Garante knows is the where the cathedral and the many sort of priests and rich aristocrats who are basically involved with the church.
Yeah, like priest quarters.
Yeah, it's priest quarters, but it's a theocracy, so it's a lot of like, what would be like senators in America, but are actually priests. So like America in like 5 years.
Yeah.
Yep. 5 years. That's generous.
Yeah.
So you've got, they're happy to guard or watch your stuff or help you hide it. Whatever you want to do here.
We got to figure out a way to get it into the city.
We have a lot of stuff that we got to get into the city, so I think our next step is probably getting some forged passports and leaving any contraband outside for now.
Torea, that's you basically told them you can absolutely do that. This is your bailiwick. You've got the contacts to get the paperwork they need to get their stuff into the city.
Please
Yeah,
fight the
have I
TSA for
already-
us.
Have I already gotten these documents though? That's
No,
what I
you'll
was
need to
wondering.
go and start talking to your contacts and your friends in high places, and probably it would be useful to have these folks with you, or at least available to you, so that when you get these documents made, they are made with these particular individuals.
So we're all going to leave all of our magical gear behind, and try to do this the old non-magical way.
Well, and again, I'll remind you, this only applies to
The big ones.
magic that requires attunement.
Cool.
So is that the
Goodbye.
plan? Then you're going to get these quaggles to hide your stuff.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that plan if everyone else is.
Yep. Ugna has taken Trey and switched him around to her back, and then put like a cover that looks like a backpack over him.
That's a good thing to have.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get a lot of utility out of that.
It's backpack mode.
And I believe, actually, I should say, Terea probably already has, like, Terea's magic items are you probably already have your own passport,
Definitely.
so your magical items are already exempted.
Yes.
Sorry, so
Goodbye,
what are you
Knight.
doing with Trey?
I've switched him around. His carrier's now on my back, and then there's like a cover over it that makes it look like a backpack.
You are going to try and carry
Yep.
Trey around.
I think
Alright.
he will eat the
Excellent.
quaggles if I leave them with him.
Yeah,
Him
that's
with
a valid
that.
worry.
Distinct
Yeah.
possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Besides,
Or-
I don't like being apart from my little guy. He's good.
Yeah.
He's just a little guy.
There's a lot of reasons to not let this happen.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the there's like a little warren of ratkin along the riverbank, and one of the quaggles owns like a little shack where they basically will stow the crate. You can hide the crate in there, and then like the tunnels underneath, you can hide the rest of your stuff. And I guess you also like filth can communicate
Right.
with Fetid
Yes.
over long distance, so filth can like alert you if anything goes wrong, since filth is a magic item that has to be left behind.
Filth is our table cover.
Yep.
We just put him on top of the stuff. Like, yeah, watch it.
That old security tarp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He curls up like so he's a long thin
Yep.
When we come back, Filth is gonna have the convention loadout instructions left on top of him, along with the renewal form.
Yeah.
and just stacks of random people's business cards or
Yeah.
flyers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh.
The worst is when you get like random goblins coming by at the end of the day on Sunday, like, you got any free stuff? And
Oh, you doing any end of show sales?
Yeah.
Discounts?
Webcomic specific content.
we're not bitter at all. No.
All of us love our jobs and all aspects of it.
Yeah.
I still
No
remember
downsides.
Still remember the
Worried about
woman
travel at
who
all.
at San Diego Comic Con asked if I could hold a print till the last day because it was like the last print. And I did, and then she's like, "No, so this is gonna have a last day discount on it, right?"
Come on.
Oh,
Like I could have sold that 5 times over.
Uh-huh.
Yes, but there's $5 a day rent for storage, so.
It's actually
Yeah.
$20 more
Actually,
than
what happened
you...
was the woman who was standing behind her basically kind of elbowed her out of the way and bought it full price.
Yeah.
Good.
I was like,
Oh yeah.
Yay.
Good.
yeah, wrecked.
That's the thing. The fans make it good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, like most of your readers are good people.
It's the once or twice
so-
you get the weird stuff that those are the stories you tell.
Yep.
I'm dreading the Popeye reactions.
So this means you need to stow. I think fetid, the only thing you have to worry about leaving behind is filth.
Yep. I leave that everywhere I go.
But this
It's
is
true.
specific filth.
Yes. This is-
Ugna, the boots, are the only thing.
Not even my crown?
Actually, yeah, I think the crown will be attuned. We'll
I
consider
shouldn't
your
have said
frog
anything.
queen
Yeah,
crown.
so I'm no longer frog queen for today.
Filth can be Frog Queen for a little bit.
Yes.
Put the crown on filth.
Good.
Copernicus,
I know.
it's
No,
the knife
I know.
and
But
your ring of ancient magic that you have to leave behind.
I'll kiss them both a tender goodbye, especially the knife.
so weird when he kisses the knife.
It's weirder when he
It's
kisses the
weird.
bucket.
The bucket's
He just
coming with
uses
me,
so
but I
much
kissed it anyway.
tongue for both.
And Tromlin,
Furbies.
the gem of seeing, the prayer beads are the ones that you have to leave behind.
Okay.
I'm gonna,
Not thrilled about that, but
I'm
just
gonna
gotta do.
ignore the technically tattoo magic is considered attuned, but like,
How do I get it
What?
off?
yeah, I'm not gonna be mean and say nope.
Right.
You gotta leave your arm behind.
It'd be really
And,
fun if you had to find
the
a tattoo
city-
removal place.
The city makes such exceptions as well.
Mhm.
Magical implants, magical bones. I don't know. Bureaucracies,
cyberpunk.
you see all sorts of things. So.
Well, and I said before that magical entities don't trigger this. Like someone who is like, a Feyborn creature doesn't get like murdered trying to cross the thing. And that's sort of the same idea with having the tattoo magic. It's part of yourself. It doesn't count.
Makes sense.
Random murders at the doorstep are just bad for optics. We're just trying to keep a little bit of order in the city. It's just a process.
She said after we had Elvis dive bomb her city's attackers. Hey, we're helping in our
Sort of.
in our
Our
own
given
weird.
value of help.
I'm
So-
certain it will be resolved in time with diplomacy.
So speaking of which, you're going to want to take these people to your friends in high places.
Certainly.
That's going to be the best option. So I guess
So take
The
these
first step is getting into the
horrible,
city.
horrible goblin, gremlin people to your friends in high places.
Nothing will go wrong.
That's all right. I know someone who owes me a favor.
Not wrong yet.
quite a few.
Okay. And I think I don't have any notes specifically related to this, do I?
No, but you would imagine that the best place to start, given that the city is under lockdown and under attack currently, you're not necessarily going to want to go straight to the bureaucracy itself. Not only that, but that would involve going through multiple barriers, and there might be ramped up barriers that might be even harder to pass. What you want to do is go talk to your friends sort of away from the official places So likely your best option would be to go to the Salon de Magos, which is the exclusive club
Ooh.
that that a lot of the arcane magic use individuals of the upper crust here frequent.
Well, then let's go.
We're going to a club? Give me a minute to change. And I will come back in, like, full club gear.
Raver.
Oh,
Ugna.
God, I think I drew a picture of that once. Let me see if I can find it.
You have like the pacifier too.
That does sound familiar.
Where is that? Oh, here we go. Here we go. I found that on the other hard drive the other day when I was rearranging Trash Hero stuff.
Nice.
Oh, you put it up. You put it up. I want to
Yeah,
Nice.
see. Excellent. Club Ugna.
Club Ugna.
Yeah, you just need the pacifier and some glow sticks.
Yep.
Oots, oots, oots. Excellent. Okay. So, I guess my first question then is, how are you getting into the city? You've got a couple different options here. Now that you have divested yourself of magic stuff, you can get through the magic walls, but there's still guards at the gates.
Yeah, a planar ally once told me that wise men say only fools rush in. So,
Oh,
think we
And
should-
I happen to know that there is a policy of guest passes for registered citizens. A registered citizen is allowed to bring at least 5 unregistered persons for the purpose, as an escort, under their care as they proceed through paperwork. So I'm basically acting as a guarantor for them.
No pressure on us
Yeah,
Nope.
we'll be
or on
fine.
you with that.
Travel and Transgressor in Mal's, be on your best behavior.
I'm always on my best behavior.
Oh, be better.
So are you going to make any effort to be disguised, given what happened at Santo Bianco?
I mean, we
Yes.
travel faster than news. But
It's true.
Yeah, all right.
That's true.
You know, the rest of these guys.
Yeah, I don't think I need to.
Oh, right, that other revolution we were part of.
Yeah.
Another uprising we started. Right.
There's been so many I forget.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, maybe in terms of specifics, it might be worthwhile to disguise yourselves, but in terms of generic things, like I imagine it's a fairly cosmopolitan city, and it shouldn't be too much of a concern.
I will put on
Yeah, the
sunglasses.
issue right now is the lockdown. Because of
Yeah.
the siege, there's a lockdown, and no one's getting in without like extensive checking.
Uh-huh.
You, of course, have
Can get
the
in.
ability to, you can navigate that bureaucracy and bring these people in, but
Yes.
not if they are like wanted criminals, for example.
Only most of us
Okay.
are. It's fine.
So they just have to be convincingly not wanted as a criminal.
We are rarely wanted where we should.
I know. I've been unwanted my entire life.
I'm kind of wanted, but it's not for good reasons.
Some of it's horniness with you, though.
Some of it. But then there's my family, which is definitely more murder.
True.
They're just horny for murder.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, precautions?
That morning.
What's going on?
I wouldn't mind a little bit of disguising if my grandmother
Yeah.
ended up for it.
I imagine
All right.
you want to dress me up so nobody tries to rustle me when we walk in the door, like
God.
happened before.
Hey, you were disguised last time. I don't know what happened.
Somebody was really, really good at figuring
Yeah.
out disguises.
What am I
With
using?
the wrestlers, Ugna was not disguised
Okay.
because there was a specific effort made to disguise Tromlin and Copernicus.
Oh, right.
Because it was about not being seen as members of that family. So, I assume this is physical disguising.
Yes.
Let's get some disguise kit rolls.
So it's 7 plus. Oh, wait.
Your
that's 3
bonus
plus.
is, I think this is, we said wisdom based, so plus 7 total.
Nice.
So your bonus?
Okay. Not my best. 19.
19
Ugna.
total. So Ugna 19. And who else is getting a disguise here? Yourself, I assume?
Yes. I will do my last though.
Okay.
I'll do Copernicus.
Go for it.
Thank you, Grand Nugget.
Do I have any points left? Spend?
Yeah. I think you've got a couple.
I think I got one, and I'm
You got one
spending
left,
it.
sorry.
I'm spending it right now
I,
because that was bad.
Hmm.
That is much better. That would be 26.
Nice.
Yay.
26 for Copernicus.
For
And are you
myself,
disguising Fetid?
Ed, do you want to be disguised?
Or why not? That sounds fun.
I scrub him with a sponge.
Oh, the agony.
23.
Like stick him in one of the little outfits that the other Quaggles wear.
Yep.
23.
Tiny
23.
sombrero.
Yep.
Now my turn. Let's see how
Tiny
that-
sombrero, another hat.
Yes.
For myself, not great. 14.
14.
But like, I don't know it's not great, so
You used
I mean,
all
the
your
others
good
do.
hats and fake mustaches on everybody else.
Okay. Maybe it's a good time to remind the audience that they can always cheer at any time, and if the counter rolls over, everybody gets another inspiration. Just saying.
I mean, that's how we got all those awesome hero points.
Well, that was there was a hype train.
That was cool.
That was very
I
cool.
had no idea what was happening. The numbers just kept going up, and
There's
I
so
was
many.
excited and
There's so
scared.
many.
Okay.
Let's sneak in.
All right. So, Senora Garante can bring you guys to the gates and pull some rank. So there's, as I said before, there's a whole lot of soldiers at the main gate on the road. More than doubled guard on the city. The shimmering wall of magical energy spans the actual entryway. They're all very much avoiding standing in it, which Taria, is like completely unnecessary. Like, it doesn't do anything to you if you have a passport, but they're all being like, "Ooh, magic! I'm scared."
Okay, well, I will make no such reservation, and I stride towards the gate confidently,
Ooh,
saying, "Make way, make way! Take me to the captain, please."
Excellent. And a gentleman stands away with a really, really huge, thick black mustache. Otherwise, it looks really kind of scrawny in his armor. And he says, "Hold, miss. Papers, please."
So I present my authentic passport.
Okay. And he quickly looks over your. What is the purpose of your journey?
I am escorting these diplomats from the north. I need to take them to get their official visas in place, and I will be escorting them for the duration.
And you are guaranteeing that there will be no trouble from these, looks over vaguely at them, foreigners?
I try very hard to look like a diplomat.
Yes.
I wave.
Yes,
Sir.
and it's a Garante guarantee.
Sir, I assure you, though their customs might look unusual, these are refined nobles from distant countries. You're going to see Senora Cueva, the head bishop, and I just need to get their paperwork in order in due course and as expediently as possible. And I will thank you very much for your cooperation.
I'm not even
This-
holding
this-
anything, but I raise a pinky just to be extra fancy.
This is what you're gonna be fancy, right? This very much sounds like a good time for a roll.
Sure. Persuasion, maybe?
Yes. I'm just trying to figure out where you got some bonuses here. So yeah, make me a persuasion roll. Add 3 for your expertise.
Okay. So I got
in bureaucracy.
a 19 total.
Okay. Ho.
But that's not without the +7 to persuasion.
Oh, okay. That's without the +7?
That's without the +7. That's just a
Okay.
d20 +3.
Yeah, then I need the 7 as well. So never mind then. I was like, oh, because I rolled a 19, but I did not roll as good as a 26.
Okay.
So never mind. Yeah, so you he tries to say, I understand I understand Sonora, but there is a war on. Everyone must be checked very carefully. We will need to ensure that these individuals have indeed been invited to come to the city, but we'll have to check. And you're like, oh, you don't.
Sir,
need
they
to
have
check."
traveled a long way. Please do not insult these dignitaries. You know, Senor Cuervo will hear of this and will be quite offended that his honored guests were treated roughly.
Threats. Name dropping. Okay. So he starts to he caves and is like, very well. There's like another explosion as another flaming ball flies from the Dragonborn ships and hits the wall.
I don't
above.
even flinch. I don't look at explosions.
He's like,
Cool cats. Don't look at explosions.
Cool cats don't look at explosions.
he says, very well. You can pass. But as he does so, one of the other guards has been kind of looking at the group like almost suspiciously. Everybody can make me a perception check.
Perception, you said?
Yeah.
I thought you said
10.
deception, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Perception.
I noticed nothing.
Yeah, you want to break an 18.
I did break an 18.
I did break an 18.
Ooh,
Don't forget your bonuses.
0.
Torea has a +5.
Yeah, that's with the +5.
Okay. So anyone break 15 or 18? Sorry,
Yes.
Just Stromlin.
just Tromlin.
Whew.
Cromlin carrying the team.
Yep.
Okay. Then Tromlin, you notice that one guard is very specifically staring at Ugna. Looking suspiciously at Ugna.
I think I know what I'm gonna do. I tried to do a performance. I'm gonna be a performance deception. I want to act offended and say, "No, sir, are you the reason you're looking at my wife that way?" I understand that yes, she is a beauty, but there's no reason to eye her up so commonly.
And then I'll barge in as well. Please, sir. You know, I know it is our custom to look at people we admire. I did not mean any offense, you know, like trying to smooth over the situation on behalf of the guard now.
I will roll my deception, I guess.
No, let's make that a performance, but roll it with advantage because of Jam helping you out here.
Fuck yeah. 20
Nice.
plus 7? 27.
Oh, nat 20. Nice.
Mhm.
Nice. Okay, so like you immediately like defend your wife's honor, much to Ugna's confusion.
Oh no, I'm playing right along. I'm all like, oh. I understand a scam.
Demure, like,
Yeah.
oh.
I take her hand
In your club jacket.
You pull out like your sweat rag and use it as a little kerchief
dab
to cover
my
your
face.
mouth. Yep. Yeah, he goes like beet red and is like, I meant no offense. Many apologies, Senora. No
What
offense.
is your captain's name?
Oh!
Oh dear.
The captain who you were already speaking to kind of like puts a hand in front of his underling and kind of like pushes him back into the crowd, sort of like coming to engage is like, be assured, Senora Calente, this man will be disciplined for speaking out of turn. By all means, please, we must close the gates again, please.
Of course, we will be out of your way.
And you hear like you can smack the guy in the head. Like, stupid. Somebody had a really good perception. Oh, I think it was Trumlin.
That was the only one who.
I'm assuming he recognized Ugna as a pit fighter.
Yeah, you actually hear him say something like, "Wait, Capitan, it was the," or no, probably not Captain, probably Sergeant. He's like, but, "Sergeant, that was the Bone Crusher."
I'm just picturing, I put like a sombrero on as a disguise, but like my hair is starting to like creep out from under it.
Yep.
I'd like try to tuck it back up.
Well, you'll recall your disguise roll was a 19, and I just happened to beat that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't beat the 14.
He's a super fan. This guy would know me no matter the disguise.
Yep. But yeah, they don't listen to him because he's just embarrassed the whole unit. So yeah, you passed through the magic barriers, no problems. You've left your magic stuff behind. There's a bit of a moment after you pass through the very first one, or when you pass through the very first one, coming through the gates. There's a moment where you, Copernicus, you're holding the bucket. You kind of like feel resistance, and you're like, uh-oh. And you look down and you see like the runes are kind of glowing, and you're like, it's okay. Try to calm Barb down, and then the runes like fade, and then the bucket comes through, and you're like, okay. So you're within the city. You wouldn't necessarily want to gamble taking them into any place particularly protected until you get these passports. But
No,
the salon is
we want
near the
to-
marketplace.
You want to arm up with lower level documentation, I think. Because any documentation you have gives you credibility towards higher level documentation.
Gotta have a passport before you can get your Nexus.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just before you came on the stream, there was a moment as an NPC where Copernicus was asking you how the passport system worked, and was unable to sort of not just let it go as long as possible. So they've already heard like a lot of this stuff. That then the B12 means that you get that allows you to get in to get the red
T52A,
stamp that
yeah.
you need for the 22A. But
Yeah.
then the 22A, you have to go. This has to be notarized, and then that.
But I happen to know that there is a weird loophole in the system that if you go to this office and you convince them to give you a 22A first, it like makes it way easier to get your B12 stamp. Because they'll be like, oh man, well you already have a 22A. I've already gone like through this next
Yeah.
step. I guess, it would be weird to have a 22A without a B12, so I'll just give you a B12.
Okay, my mom's trying to get hold of me. I'll be right back, guys.
Hey.
Sorry.
No worries. So you are going to want to get them to one of the sort of public offices in the market to just get like a market pass, just to start with, just a basic day
You
pass
can
thing. So
shop here.
you can easily get them.
It's like
into the
fare
salon.
bucks,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when you go into a market, sometimes you have to like pay for money that just lets you spend money at the food stalls. And it's like, oh man, corn is 7 fare bucks.
It's like getting
Only
the
5,
wristband.
but I have to buy them in units of 5. Wow, what can I get for 3 fare bucks? This is the worst.
How come everything is a prime number and nothing's divisible by any other amount?
Mm-hmm.
Like they planned this.
Yeah, so Senor Basilio, Andre Basilio, who is the person working during the day, supervising the market, and you know that if you properly grease his palms, you can fast track the process of getting these foreigners, because that is the problem, sort of certified to be in the city, effectively.
Senor Garcia?
Senor Andre Basillo.
Garcia. Okay. Well, good news is I've already sponsored his daughter's, Spanish equivalent of the Girl Guides. Like last year, I bought 10 boxes of these damn cookies. Just used them and pushed her over the edge to get her into like the next echelon of sales leadership.
Higher up that pyramid.
Exactly. And I know that sale is coming up again. An annual thing.
I'm looking it up. Guías de Niña
Guías de Niña. Yes.
is Girl Guides translated in Spanish by Google. So
Guías de Niña. Yes.
Good.
excellent.
And I'm
Oh,
going
yeah.
to this one on purpose.
De Niña
because
for
of
short.
this. Yeah. De Niña. Oh, it's your daughter, Sophia.
Okay, so yeah, you go up to this guy and start your thing.
I'm so excited about the sale this year. I'm hoping to get another 20 boxes of the extra thin orange mints.
But of course, excellent. We will
Ah,
we will make sure that we have them available, Senora.
oh, please put me down on the list and I'll make sure to bring a ton of my friends. But I'm having such an awkward day today.
What has happened? I mean,
Well-
all of this very, very awkward, very bad
Yes.
for business.
Oh, terrible, I know. But on top of all of this, I've got to usher these foreigners through the city in the midst of all of this mess. I just need to get them where they're going so they can be out of my hair and I can get back to what I'm doing, senor.
You need the market pass. I see. But Senora Garante, there is an interview process. It will take some time.
We were hoping to get them through all the way to their passport and out by the end of today. There's a wedding in the next jurisdiction that this whole party needs to be at. I know, it's so difficult. Surely no one can help us.
I think this is a good place for a roll.
Sure.
Persuasion.
Charm or charisma?
Yeah, persuasion roll. So +7 for you.
Not 7 dice. That would be crazy.
Sorry,
Alright.
plus 10 for you, because again, your +3 bonus, if it's about the bureaucracy of the empire, applies.
I only rolled a 5. Can I inspiration that? I
So
take
that
one
gives you a
inspiration.
15.
Yeah,
Yeah,
15,
you've got 3 inspirations. You haven't used any.
Sweet. I will inspiration that, and I got an 18 total. Much better, a little better.
And you did need that because I rolled better than 15 on his insight, but I did not roll better than 18. So you basically managed to kind of
Please.
wrap around. You
Pretty
go back and forth. You do like you do a couple more like offers. Like you're like,
Yeah.
well, you've done such a good job here, and I do have the ear of so many people.
Yeah. It's like
the word-
I heard. I have the ear of the person who directs traffic flow through the city, and I can ensure that this market gets prioritized signage next year for the tourist season.
So you managed to convince him to forego the extensive interview process, and so instead, he brings forward like a quill pen that's especially sharp.
Oh.
And there's no ink bottle. Copernicus probably knows exactly what's going on here. And he passes it to whoever's first up. Tromlin. So Tromlin, he passes you this little document that says the I, and then he's written in your name, the name that you give him anyway. Are you giving your real names?
Can I try to figure out, like, I assume the magic involved is going to prevent that of giving fake names.
Not necessarily, because it clearly is going to involve your blood.
Can I arcana this and try and figure out what risks there are in lying or telling the truth with this?
Sure.
Yeah, that's my worry.
22.
Yeah, you don't think the name matters at all.
Okay.
It's a very simple document, a very simple magic, basically. So the
Like a bus pass.
person whose blood this is,
Let through the wards.
whoever the hell they are, has access to sort of a certain degree of the areas of the city. So like the name is probably like more for like bureaucratic purposes.
Yeah.
Because he certainly copied it down into a book, the name that he put, or would be doing so. So you can like whisper to, or write, perninet it
Yeah.
in your book.
I'll perninet. Yeah. It's okay to sign, but I'm gonna go last. And I'm gonna drop back to Fetid and ask.
I'll give my fake name, like the fake ID name.
Okay. Your actual fake ID, alternate ID, or like a different name entirely?
I'm gonna give a new alias.
Okay. So you pick an alias. He writes it down. He puts it in his book. He passes you the sharp quill and gestures to like a little box at the bottom of the form, that's about the size of a finger.
All right, I do it. I prick my finger.
And touch it with the blood.
Yeah.
And he'll go around and get everyone. Is everyone?
I have a question. Can you
Yep.
remind me if Fetid's fluid-producing jug
I think
made
you
it
said
through or
it
not?
would not make it through.
It
Or
did.
You said it
It-
would make it
Yeah.
through. Okay,
You
yeah,
can,
yeah.
yes,
Okay.
because it is not attuned magic.
So I when I mentioned I'm dropping back and going last, I'd like to quietly ask him if I can borrow the jug.
Hey.
Grandpa needs a clean urine sample.
That kind
Grandpa
of market.
apparently pisses mayonnaise.
I just don't know how. I am nervous that I've already made some blood promises. I'm nervous they could conflict, and Grandpa's just a little cagey about this stuff. He doesn't trust the government. So
I don't think blood is one of the things that the alchemy jug can create, though.
I don't remember if it's specified.
No. Yeah, it's not on the list.
and they
Do
won't
you
let me
have
sign in
blood?
mayonnaise.
Yeah, they wouldn't let you sign in there.
I think I do have blood. I mean, I ingest it regularly.
Yeah, you've got blood. There's blood in you. Well, in fact,
Don't
there has
worry.
to be, because
None
you
of this is
literally,
mine.
when you cast your blood magic,
Oh,
you
yeah,
do
you
it
need
by
blood.
harming yourself to
right.
Yeah.
get blood. In fact,
I-
you're kind of like, you're like, oh, this is novel. Only a tiny amount of blood is required for this.
I
Are you
still
sure you
open
don't
the
need me to
vein?
open a vein? Like that's
What?
the usual.
And what do I think would happen if two people signed with the same blood during the same session? Do I think that there would be like a?
You think that? No, you think that they would both just work for that person only.
Hmm.
Like
Oh,
if you
right.
don't use your blood, it's
Then
not
when we
going to
use the
work for you.
Right,
That's the
okay.
problem.
Yeah,
that's-
right. I'll use.
It's
my
a very
blood.
simple magic. It's just whoever this is gets through.
Government's got Grandpa's number now.
Grandpa's like, I don't like giving my social insurance number out.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll sign.
All right, Fetid,
Yeah.
all good. What name are you giving?
Willie Nelson.
Excellent. He says he's a fan.
Yep.
Ugna.
I'm still trying to think of a really good name.
Have you noticed that everyone else is using a fake name?
I mean, should I roll it?
Yeah, roll me a perception because it's just being written down. It's not being spoken.
Oh boy, that's a 9.
Yeah, you haven't noticed yet that people are giving fake names.
So I start writing Ugna. How far do I get before someone stops me?
I think we need some perception rolls from.
Yeah, I think I need perception rolls from the others.
Yeah. Hold on.
my dice. I'm self-assigning disadvantage on this one because Ernie's furiously trying to think of a way to give the
If I
government
just get the
blood.
O's and then I just keep going, it's just
17 on me.
ooh.
18.
Yeah, Copernicus is actually oblivious, so it would be irrelevant for you not to.
So socially oblivious, which is
21.
different from like smuggling and crime oblivious.
I suppose that's true. So 21 from Tromlin, and what was it from Fetid?
17. Not great.
Okay, that sounds pretty good, but I
18
think the
from
20
Bernie.
for noticing something as fine as what someone is writing, I think Tromlin's the only one who's going to make that. With the
Also,
over
Tromlin
20.
knows Ugna.
Mm-hmm. That's.
So
Tromlin
I get
grab,
2 O's in.
Tromlin will grab his like, and do the performance again. Like, oh, honey, no, they want your actual formal name, not like pet name. I understand. Like,
Oh. So
apologies.
I
Can she
quickly,
fill out a new one?
I
I'm
quickly,
so sorry.
I keep going with that one, and it's ooh, Olivia.
And you turn the first O into a smiley face.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Heart over the eye.
Excellent.
Pancake is my last name. I panicked.
Olivia Pancake.
Olivia Pancake.
Excellent. Very good. So I didn't catch Tromlin's or Copernicus. I want to hear the aliases.
Hold on.
So far we got Willie Nelson and Olivia Pancake.
So, Bernie was gonna do something like when you spoil a vote and you vote for freedom, and like write freedom or none of your business as his name, but I think instead he'll
Well,
compromise.
like, you could write Nuno Business.
Nuno.
Okay, all right, I'll do Nuno business.
I'm going to go to a name generator for C tiers.
You're also a trickster. You could go with like a Bart.
With a Bart?
That's
Yeah,
the part.
like a.
If we're married, though,
Amanda
you gotta be a
Huggins.
Seymour
pancake,
Butts.
too.
Yeah. Chemo Goblin.
Evil Goblin. I will go with. My name is Quell, Quel Twinhorn.
Well, Twin Horn. Nice.
You and your plausible lies.
It's like he's done this before.
Yep.
Okay, so you have a set of documents, and now you can get into the common areas of the city without any difficulty, which means, Senora Garante, that you can take these people to the Salon de Magos.
Fantastic. We're making
Club,
tremendous progress.
Club.
But
Club.
you do have you do note and kind of consider and look over the group, particularly I was going to say particularly Fetid, but honestly particularly most of them, particularly everyone but Tromlin, and you kind of are like, this is a high society kind of place. This is an exclusive club.
Fine.
Is
We've all
it
been high in society at some point.
Right?
Yeah.
peak hours?
I look at her. Just give me like 10 minutes. I'll do my best to make them look nice.
Is it peak hours for the club?
It's getting on. Like it's getting towards like lunchtime. There's going to be the lunch crowd at the club.
I've got
I feel
tailor's
worried.
tools. Do we
Do
need
I
to
know any
sew
kitchen
some
staff?
things?
Makeover.
Makeover.
Montage.
Well, actually, why don't we take our break since we're at the halfway point now? Let's take our break and give everyone some time to consider the makeover montage that is about to occur.
Good.
Mayhaps that's the way to go. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right.
All right.
See you all in what, 10, 15?
Yep. The
10
usual
minutes.
10-minute break.
All right.
All right.
See
We
y'all
shall
later.
return
Woo!
again. Ooh,